Thank y'all for listening to the Southern Style Podcast. We appreciate y'all being here. I'm Michael Lee.
And this is Rick Henderson.
Here the hell we go. There's a 98% chance we do not have it together. Kind of like tornadoes hitting trailer park. There's a 98% chance that's happening.
That's a Southern thing, guys.
The Southern is cornbread and biscuits.
Kyrgyzstan, like, the places that you kind of essentially...
Can you spell that?
Absolutely not.
I didn't think so.
Don't forget, we're from the South.
What?
cut off the chicken tongue.
Could you imagine walking you in here and have a damn 8-foot chicken in the corner?
I was thinking about putting him in the front yard.
This train wreck of a saga.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. if y'all think that it's morning, it could be evening.
By now, yeah. We've been sitting for about 2.5 hours waiting on Rick to get ready today.
How's everybody doing?
Happy Monday, because whenever you show up here at Rick's Body Shop and Emporium, you never know. It's just like you dumped all the parts out on the floor and let's just see which one we need today.
You saying we got bolts left over right here with this deal?
Just a couple washers.
Just
screws loose. Yeah.
All right. Hope everybody's doing good. This is episode 6. We've made it to 6.
And what everybody understand is, if you listen to, well, first off, thank you for listening, all 3 of y'all. But
all 3,
both of you. We recorded like 5 episodes in 2 days, and so we've been feeling this thing out, and so it's hard to get. Was that good?
That's loud. I just realized how loud
you're rattling
that is.
in a deer or drinking. I don't know. And just vodka this early in the morning, 9 o'clock.
It's straight Red Bull.
You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. That's what I've always heard. Anyway, I'm drinking coffee though, so you can have whatever you like.
Yeah, I like to drink coffee too, but I don't know. Lately, I've just been on a Red Bull kick. It's not like I'm addicted to them or anything. I can stop at any time. I promise.
Yeah, it's bad for you.
Everybody shines down on
You're putting all those sucralose and stuff in your body. You're going to die tomorrow.
Sucralose.
Yeah. Actually, I read an article about sucralose the other day. Yeah.
So
it's bad for you.
Real bad.
If you look at your ingredients, it says sucralose in there. Yeah. It's like a fake sugar, anything with OSE or anything like that.
It's not sugar cane then, is it? Just straight cane?
It's not cane syrup. Like you can go take a shot of honey though, and you'll be all right. But drinking that. I don't, dude. I've been on this reading about health kick.
You've been trying to get healthied up?
I mean, you get older and you start thinking about crap. When you're 26, it doesn't matter. You go drink a gallon of motor oil and jump off a bridge with no parachute. You don't care.
Yeah.
But when you're 46, you're like, oh, God, that hurts. How can I stop it?
Of course. Yeah.
But,
what you been up to this weekend? I haven't talked to you.
I watched this documentary the other day about our food. You know you're getting old when you start watching stuff. Not about cooking food, but about like what's in our food.
So that's what you did this weekend?
No, that was one night last week.
Here we go. We're going to food, guys.
No, not yet. But so if you look at the fat content on any of your, the packaged food, you look on the back and it's got all your calories and fat and protein and blah, 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 blah. Everything that's bad for you that it shows.
Yeah.
You take that number of fat grams, multiply that by 9, right? Then divide that by the number of calories. Then you actually have the percentage fat in that food.
What? Wait.
I know that blew your mind right there.
Bad. Don't bring up that math this early in the morning like that.
So theoretically, if you've got 1 gram of fat, multiply that by 9, so that's 9.
Right.
You got that? If you good with me on there?
Yeah, we're following.
There. And then if there's 10 calories in that, you divide 9 by 10.
Why? Who's saying that there's 10 calories in that?
Because it takes, according to what I remember, it takes 9 calories to burn that gram of fat, I think. So basically they're saying your labels on your food is misleading. Like it says low fat or no fat or whatever. Well, that's only because they're going by the minuscule part of the guidelines that they have to report.
You think that's a way of them making you feel good about eating it?
Absolutely. Now, they didn't go to Meemaw's house and check the fried chicken, though, did they?
Hey, let me tell you, Meemaw don't give a crap about no calorie.
Because back when we were growing up, well, I say we, especially like when my dad was younger, my grandfather was alive, and they were working on a farm. Meemaw's job was to cook 3 meals a day, right?
And put some meat on your
It
bones.
was eggs and bacon and grits and biscuits, and
Yeah.
that was a normal
Hearty food.
breakfast after you've gotten up, gone out, done your chores.
Yeah.
Come back in, eat, go back,
Work some more.
Come back in, and then you have fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Green beans, cornbread, and then guess what? You go work some more, and you come back home. Then you have fried quail, grits again with gravy, and I'm making you hungry, Anna.
Yes. I have not ate breakfast yet, and I could eat something for sure right now. So if we get on the whole food kick, we might cut this off about 20 minutes or so.
The risk of whether eating a deer antler off the table.
You know what's crazy though is so you see healthy people or health nut people, and they watch calories and they watch content of what they're eating and whatnot. But you take old country boy that grew up with Meemaw, and she fed him fried chicken and biscuits and stuff.
So let's put this in perspective. My grandfather passed away at 87. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's a pretty good full life.
And you think that's how he ate.
Oh, you're saying that's a direct correlation
No,
of
I'm
how
just saying
he ate?
we overthink this food part, but I do think, now that we've gone on another food tangent on freaking podcast 6, of course, when you think about like what food they ate back then,
right?
They were basically killing their own chickens and cows and hogs and getting their own eggs and they were getting straight from the source for the most part.
Taking out hormones and preservatives.
They were growing their own green beans and, doing it all.
And that's still predominant in the South, though. A lot of your country
do that, right? And that's the thing too. You could go to a grocery store back then, and guess what? You can get like fresh ground grits that weren't processed and corn in Iowa, sent to Chicago, processed, put on a boat, put on a barge, put on a truck, put on a train, hauled across. And
there has to be some kind of additive to keep it okay until then.
No,
you eating it, consuming it.
Maybe not per se in grits. I don't know. I've never looked at the ingredients of grits because basically it's corn.
Yeah.
If you listen to podcasts, whatever, you would know that the Indians invented grits.
Yeah, the Southern redneck Indians done the whole grit deal. So thank you, Indians.
They was from the Dirt Road tribe. But they think about back then, they ate, quote, unhealthy by today's standards. But it was still simple ingredients.
Yeah.
Like they would go out there, get their own chicken, get their own fat, lard, fried, but it was still one ingredient foods, right?
Exactly.
It's not processed.
Yes.
It doesn't have 1,000 grams of salt in it. It doesn't have all these things you can't pronounce on the label.
It was better back then.
You could eat horrible and be okay.
But what I'm getting at, though, is still even to the whole today's processed hormone, steroid injected stuff, you still see like country people down in the South, like these older guys, even the new generation coming up that still has the meemaws, cooking the biscuits and the fried chicken and stuff like that. Those people will eat that kind of food and still be strong as an ox, work all day long, and who knows if this person lives to 87 and this person lives to 60, who knows? Got some feedback.
There was a reason that was called the Greatest Generation. Other than World War II, that generation was called the Greatest Generation.
I'm sure what they had to go through.
But with all that being said, look at today, man. Like it's so easy just to go grab something that you don't know what's in it.
You think that has a lot to do with why
it's got to do with
cancer is so huge now? Like it's 1 out of 2 guys now. I remember back in the day, it was like 1 out of 4 men going to have cancer. It went to 1 out of 3. Now it's like 1 out of 2.
I think it was Steve Harvey. You know who Steve Harvey is?
Yes.
I figured you did. For once, you knew somebody.
Yeah, I know a little bit of somebody.
He said, and I might have this wrong, but it was what you eat in your 40s is what they're going to diagnose you with in your 50s and treat you for in your 60s and kill you in your 70s.
Wow.
And it may even be an earlier scale than that.
Yeah.
Maybe in 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
I mean, that sounds right. If you eat crap I mean, especially nowadays standards, if you eat crap, I feel like it's going to hit you at some point in time. It's going to get you. But then you look at the old, like, sure enough, I call them corn-fed people. That whole, you're corn-fed. Yeah, I know you've heard corn-fed strong.
And that's the whole country, right? That's not just a southern thing. I mean, like, it's like you got farmers, quote, because that's where most of this, what we're talking about, came off people growing up on farms and eating what was on the farms. And
right.
Not downtown New York.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying people in the big cities don't eat good, don't eat clean, don't have available products like that. But today's medium has got to where it's cheaper to eat unhealthy by far.
Yeah, very much so.
So if you and I, we eat pretty decent, which you're the human dumpster of food. But with all that being said, so we're gonna go. So you and I are gonna grill chicken, asparagus, and have jasmine rice with it, which is a pretty clean meal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna cost way more than me and you going to Hardee's and getting hamburgers.
Exactly. Have you seen how bad fast food costs? Like what it costs now? It takes like a couple kids and you and your old lady, and it's like
what used to be $5 a person is now $10 a person.
Oh,
easy,
absolutely,
easy.
If not more.
So so it's getting to a point. With that being said, that go the other way.
Why not go the other way now?
Why not eat better if it's going to cost close to the same?
It's a money standpoint. Then why not eat clean? You know.
And I hate the term meal prep. Like I don't know why. That just like seems to me like, oh my God, that's just over the top. But that's really an easy way to eat good.
Yeah.
But meal prep in the South is a different term.
Okay.
Because meal prep in the South is we just ate breakfast. What's going to do for lunch? We're preparing for the next meal, right?
From food.
It's not that. Oh well, I've got 12 Tupperware containers over here, pre-made meals, which I'm joking, of course, for y'all analytical people out there. But in the South, it really is, especially like you're on vacation. I think we talked about this before. When you're on vacation somewhere, after you eat, you're thinking about what you're going to eat next.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So you go to the beach. You know you're going to sit on the beach all day. Get up, eat breakfast. When you get out there, you're sitting on the beach. What am I have for lunch? Because I got nothing else to do today.
Yeah.
Sit there and
think about food. Yeah.
And boredom is one of the biggest eating vices in the world.
Oh, if I'm bored, you better lock your cabinets,
dude. It's proven. Like if you like the taste of food, I mean, which hopefully most people do, but
yeah.
But that's like the biggest thing in the South, to me anyway. It's because
we love eating.
Not knocking the other parts of the country, because there's very good food all over this country, but in the South, it's like we have that comfort food.
I wonder about obesity rate. Like, is the obesity rate higher in South?
That's
something we should talk about one day.
I would go out on a limb and say yes.
I would too. I would think so too.
I think, well, of course, obesity is linked to population density. So the more people there are, the more likely they are to be more obese people. So
just a numbers game there.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think wherever you go, I think obesity. I mean, that's the biggest killer in our country.
Yeah.
It probably. I would say if you really boil down the nuts and bolts of it, there's more people treated from weight-related illnesses, diseases, health-wise, than people that are smoking crack. You know what I mean? Think about it. I promise you, because it's legal to be fat, right?
Fat kills worse than meth.
You're not going to go to jail for eating McDonald's.
Yeah.
You could eat McDonald's 5 times a day if you want to.
So obesity is legal, whereas drug use is not. So it's easier to be obese than it is to be a crackhead. It's a little
bit easier because it's illegal, but it's still there. Like everybody wants to talk about banning guns. Like, well, you banned drugs a long time ago.
Exactly.
Still there.
Yeah.
Still a problem. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I don't know. I guess price wise, it might be cheaper to just do meth. I don't know.
It probably is a lot cheaper, honestly.
Honey, what would you like to this drive-through? Well, I would like a side of meth, but I really like those cheeseburgers. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to cancel that out. If I eat that cheeseburger and do meth, I'll burn it right off.
Well, I don't think that they do eat like when they're all jacked up. All these people that are on drugs. I don't think they eat because obviously they lose all their weight. So
all I know is from what I've been told that if you smoke weed a lot, you get the munchies.
Yeah. So that's
mean,
obesity.
That actually, I don't think that's an obesity thing. I think that just stimulates the economy. If you really want to sell a lot of Cheetos, let's make weed legal.
Well, I mean, they kind of have most everywhere. I don't think Georgia's got there yet.
Well, it's not most everywhere. There's a few states.
Well, I know Colorado and Florida and California, and I don't know about New York.
Nevada.
You know what? I was just thinking. So when we brought up the whole gun thing, legalized gun and all that kind of stuff, we should talk about how you take Chicago for instance. It's like the highest crime rate in I think all of United States. Yeah,
I'm not going to speak on facts.
I'll have to fact check that, but I've heard it 1,000 times.
It's a lot.
And it's a real high.
A lot. It's a bad spot, and
they have gun control.
You
can't have gun.
Yeah, well, technically, yes, you can.
So you can have a gun. You just got to have some high, crazy permit kind of stuff.
Well, I don't really know all laws, so I ain't gonna speak on it. But I did read that that there's the biggest misconception is that you cannot have a firearm up there at all, which you can
in Chicago.
Yeah,
that's what I've always heard. But the crime rate's real high.
Yeah, they have the some of the strictest gun control laws in the country. But yes, they do have one of the highest crime rates as well, even with those strict laws. So
well, if you have criminals that are walking around the streets, or criminal-minded people that they're not afraid of you being able to, protect yourself, lash back out. I just feel like a blind man can see that that's a problem. Victim. You're going to be just a victim.
A criminal's not going to go, you know what? I think I'm just going to go through the hardest place I can to commit this crime.
Exactly.
I know there's 3 guys sitting in here with guns pointing out the door, but I'm going in anyway.
Yeah, right.
They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
They're going to go, oh, this guy right here, he's got a Biden sign out here. He's got gun control signs. Oh, he's going down.
Easy target.
Easy target.
Yeah.
Don't make yourself an easy target.
Yeah. Yeah, if anything, lie about it and just put like a Beretta emblem or, a Smith & Wesson emblem, like big on your door. I mean, even if I was like real straight, hardcore anti-gun, I feel like just being a smart person, say, well, I mean, if I advertise that I don't have a gun in this house, maybe I should just to keep, But anyways, I kind of feel like sometimes far as like gun control and different things of that nature, I feel like Southern people own more guns, have more guns, like more guns, more gun type.
I think we've had it easier to obtain weapons over history than the North.
What? I wonder why that is.
Because of the laws. The laws.
Stuff like Chicago.
Yeah, they're just more liberal areas, Democrat areas, if you will. They have. I mean, we've all got federal gun laws, which are very stringent.
Right.
Okay, like me and you, we can't just go walk in a gun store, give them money, and walk out with a gun like in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you
like,
either got to have your card or you got to do a check.
I've got my concealed carry, so I walk in there. They look at my concealed carry. Now, for those of y'all who don't know what concealed carry is, they've been living under a rock and hadn't done your research because you anti-gun and you don't know what you're talking about. Concealed carry is I've been vetted by our government, state of Georgia, done background checks on me, everything they can to say, yes, this person can legally carry a concealed weapon. And it's reciprocal in like 28 states or something. I don't remember the number.
Yeah.
It may be more than that. But that's my point. I've been cleared to say, yes, this guy's not going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So when I go into the gun store, I can buy a gun and they take my concealed carry. They fill out the paperwork. I fill out the paperwork, actually. I sign it. They make a copy of my carry. They get a copy of my paperwork. They send that into the national database, and I walk out with my firearm.
It's just a lot easier.
It's quicker because if you go in, you don't have a concealed carry, you go in and you have to fill out the same exact paperwork. They do the same process, but the guests, they have to call in. They run you through their system. Hey, Rick's good. Rick's clean. No lies on this sheet. No prior problems. He can have this firearm. Oh, Rick, okay, we're ready. You can go. Now, there's some states that have a waiting period for handguns. I think Florida might actually have one. I don't know how long it is. I don't know. I want to say 2 days, but I don't know. But,
I wouldn't doubt Florida having something like that.
Well, but there's a lot of states that have, especially for a handgun, they have a waiting period.
Yeah.
And some they have a waiting period for all guns.
Right,
but
right.
For everybody out there that thinks that guns are just easily attainable legally, they're not.
They're not. Yeah, they're not as easy. But so here's one thing that I've always thought about that I feel like is a little bit screwed up as far as used guns. Like when you so if I just bought a gun from you, just say me and you didn't know each other, and you told a buddy that you wanted to sell your gun, and then I drive over there to your place and I buy that gun. There's no tracking that gun. If anything happens later on in the future with that gun, it's going to fall back on you.
It's going to fall back on whoever that number is registered
to. But it's I mean, you'd probably get into a little bit of a, man, this sucks and it's taking my time. I'm having to make sure that the law, knows that I didn't do this or whatever. And then they're going to track that gun down, and it might take, days. It might take weeks for,
Hypothetical situation.
Okay.
You sell a gun to somebody, you don't know who it is. They commit a crime. They take that firearm and either throw it out and it's picked up. They run the number, it comes back to you. They're coming straight to your house.
Exactly.
Rick, this is Sheriff's Department. We need to ask you a few questions. Where were you? Da 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 da. Oh man, I was right here. Well, think about this. You can set yourself up for failure if that happens on a Friday night, right down the road, hypothetical, and you're right here on a Friday night.
Home alone.
Yeah, you're other than them pinging your cell phone and proving where you were at it. What if those only ping so often?
Right.
On towers, you could be like in a very bad spot for a long time.
If you can't prove
that you didn't do it,
you need an alibi somehow.
Exactly. Now, with that being said, if somebody commits a crime with a gun, they throw it out, they can run prints on it, and okay, Rick, we didn't find your prints on there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to deal with. They could detain you. They could be down there sitting in a jail cell until whenever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be a situation.
So what you do then is, if I'm selling a firearm to you, well, first off, I think there needs to be a process. I think that's one part of the laws that I'm not for more laws, but I think there needs to be another law where if I'm going to sell you a gun, we have to go to a firearms dealer,
exactly.
And there has to be a transaction that's recorded.
I'm glad you're on the same page, and I feel like a lot of people that are anti-gun probably have looked into this thing and said, you know what, if you buy a new gun, brand new, it's registered to you, that's okay with us. But if you go and sell it to 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, once it changes hands, then we don't know where that gun's at. We don't know who it's going to fall, hands.
And if it gets stolen, you can report it stolen, and then that serial number stolen, but a criminal they'll file that serial number down, and they're going to.
Oh yeah, it's not easy.
You're not going to stop anything. But if that face-to-face transaction can't happen, then that does throw a little obstacle in the way of people trying to buy a gun that can't buy a gun.
Yeah.
Another thing though, if you are going to sell a used gun to somebody, always do paperwork, a bill of sale.
Yeah.
Saying I'm selling this firearm to Rick with serial number on this date with this is the description of the firearm, and you sign it, I sign it, and deuces.
Right.
If that person won't sign that, then don't sell them the gun.
Yeah. Well, maybe we need to check into gun control south versus north, because I feel like sometimes when I know that's pretty probably could get controversial on that, and I don't really want to go there. But I feel like sometimes the mass shootings and school shootings and stuff like that, I feel like they happen up north a lot, like more so than here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not saying they're not possible anywhere, but I think with that being said, that's not a gun problem. That's people problem.
That's a heart condition.
That's just people.
Yeah. I just feel like that though in the South that we've been raised with guns. We kind of around guns a little more. And I hate to even say that, because like we're not fact checkers here, guys. We're not gonna. We might say some crap that you say, man, that ain't worth a crap. You don't know what you're talking about.
That's true.
I'm not saying that I know everything and that we're fact checking everything that we're saying. I'm not even gonna waste my time trying to do that.
If Jason hadn't walked out on us today, we would have a fact checker. Jason.
But maybe we'll dig into that a little more. But I guess gun control was what we were going to talk about today.
I don't know what we were actually going to talk about. Rick asked me what I did this weekend, and we went talking about food and guns.
Food and guns. This is all about ammo.
If you look in
and
most
full
people
belly.
in the South's vehicles, there's two things: food and guns.
Yeah, Vienna sausages and a shotgun in the back glass.
Man,
That was 1980.
Yeah, Rick's stereotyping really bad right now because nobody does that ever now. I'm not saying we might not have Vienna sausage in there, but there's not a gun right around in the back glass anymore.
That's right.
But there should be.
Yeah.
The only problem you don't do it now is you're afraid somebody's going to break in and steal it.
Yeah.
And then it's an undocumented firearm, and now we have a whole nother conundrum.
There we go. We got right back into what we were talking about.
In South Texas, he had a gun stolen out of his truck. It was a AR platform. I don't know what it was, if it was a 223 or what, but he was at his office one day and ATF showed up, knocked on there, said, "I need to speak to Mike." And they said, "Oh, he's back here in his office." He come in and, "Yo, what can I do for you? Is this your firearm?" Well, it was, but somebody stole it. And he's like, "Okay, well, they actually found it in like one of the top drug guys in Mexico's home."
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he lives in South Texas too, so
Yeah,
he's right
not
there
too far
in the road corridor there. So, yeah, that was one of them, and he actually had to get. They want to know how the cartel or whatever got his gun. They thought he was selling guns to him. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
And he went in. Luckily he found the police report and was like, "There you go." And they're like, "Okay, have a nice day," and they left. I mean, but if he hadn't had that police report,
could have been a miss.
Yeah.
That's
so
what I'm
if we're
getting
gonna
at.
get stolen, report that stolen.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. You got
If
to.
not, you never know. You could be next on the cartel's list.
Yeah.
Rick, watch it, buddy.
I see that.
I mean, I see all these hidden compartments y'all are building out here in these cars. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Miami halls.
Funny, I had a buddy of mine. I will not say where, who, or what, but he did have a guy come in and say, "Hey, man, I want you to put one of these diesel tanks in the back of my truck." And he said, "I only want it to fill up about halfway and the bottom part be hollow."
Yep.
Like a secret compartment.
I ain't gonna lie. 20 years of paint and body business, and building cars and doing things in the automotive industry. I have been
Approached.
I've been approached before by numerous things like that, and I would always say, "No, I'm good. I'm good."
We don't need no knocks on the door around here.
No, exactly. Like I don't understand why people get caught up in such stuff like that. I'm assuming that they don't have any kind of good things going, right? So if you had a good thing going, if you had a very reputable business or a good job, and then you accepted something like that, got into something really illegal like that or anything, and you got popped just one time, and it just totally.
Why would you risk your life?
Exactly.
For a quick dollar.
Exactly.
Unless it's like, "Hey, dude, I'll give you $2 million to do this." Now we're gonna have a different conversation.
Well, we are approaching.
No, we're gonna do it, Rick, for $2 million. I'm coming and do it.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, there's his statement right there, police. He just admitted that he's gonna do it.
I'm just helping somebody build something. I'm not putting anything in it.
Oh, okay. You're just gonna do the.
I'm not running. I'm not getting hands on with the thing. I'm just like, "Oh, you want a box? Here's a box. I'll build you a box for $2 million."
There you go. Yeah.
That's not that hard, Rick.
That's an accomplice.
No, it's not. I don't know what they're doing. They could be putting watermelons in there for all I know.
They could. They definitely could.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are winding down here on time.
All right, then. Well, I don't want to talk anymore anyway.
I'm trying to save you from getting into trouble, Michael.
No,
you
it's fine.
Things on
I'm not admitting anything. I'm saying I would help people build stuff. I'm an entrepreneur.
All right, there you go, guys. We've covered gun control, some controversial stuff, some drug running, some food. Some food. Yeah, we're always going to do food. But
Southern meal prep.
Southern meal prep,
Remember
guys.
that. That means what you eat for breakfast, you need to start thinking about what you're going to eat for lunch.
There you go.
After lunch, start about thinking about dinner.
That's how we do it in the South.
Add dessert.
Yeah, always add dessert, guys.
All right. Deuces.
All right, see you guys.
Thank y'all for listening. Please tune in to the rest of this train wreck of a saga.
Yes.
I roll for you. Not in that way.